Hello, welcome to our Staples Incorporated Case Analyses, presented by Benjamin Adams, Brian Cottrell, and Eduardo Giampuzzi.
Sycamore Partners acquired Staples for $6.9 billion in 2017 and split it into three independently managed businesses: Staples Business to Business Services, Staples US Retail, and Staples Canada Retail. As of 2024, Staples is a private company that is not required to share their financials, but is estimated to generate around $8 billion in annual revenue year to year. The company operates over 1,100 stores across the United States and Canada and has roughly 27,000 employees. Almost all of Staples' overseas locations were sold to a range of private equity firms during its mid 2010s restructuring. The company remains a big player in North America, just smaller than its early 2000 peak. Staples is in the business of providing office products and workplace solutions, grounded in the idea of delivering one-stop shopping to make it easy for businesses of all sizes to obtain supplies and services required to operate. Their mission is centered around convenience, competitive pricing, product availability, and creating a friction-free purchasing experience, reflected in initiatives such as the That Was Easy campaign and in-stock guarantees. This mission supports their foundational goal of serving as reliable, efficient, and accessible supplier for small businesses, mid-sized firms, and enterprise-level companies. Staples' objectives include maintaining leadership in the office supply market by expanding services offerings, strengthening e-commerce operations, and increasing operational efficiency through centralized logistics. At the corporate level, their objective is profitable growth with a shift towards businesses fulfillment services. At the business level, the aim is to increase sales volume and customers' loyalty through guaranteed pricing and stock availability. And at the functional level, they focus on improving supply chain performance, enhancing mobile and online purchasing tools, and delivering sustainability initiatives. These layers of objectives work together with each functional initiative: digital ordering, smart size packaging, and customer segmentation, supporting the broader corporate direction. Staples' key strategies include expanding beyond physical retail into digital platforms, strengthening B2B fulfillment through Staples Advanced and Kill.com, and reducing physical store footprints while increasing e-commerce investment. They also focus on sustainability initiatives to cut costs and improve brand image, as well as price match guarantees to combat competitors' competitive pricing. These strategies are aligned with changes that the external environment, such as the rise of online shopping and declining paper usage, and are consistent with the mission of making office purchases easy and efficient. The shift to omnichannel retail and growth into service-oriented offerings shows an adaptation to both technological trends and competitive pressures. The organizational leadership of Staples consists of a highly experienced, closely interconnected governance and executive structure. The board of directors is composed of five key members: Rachel Ackel, John Lederer, Jeffrey Hall, Stefan Kalusny, and Pragati Mathur. Lederer serves as chairman and was the interim CEO from 2021 to 2025. He has been on the board since 2017, providing continuity, institutional memory, and long-term strategic direction. Hall has served as vice chairman of the board since 2017 and as chief financial officer, giving him direct influence over strategic finance. Kalusny, a managing director at Sycamore Partners, was brought into the board in 2021 and contributes through heavy committee participation by bringing ownership input to work with the established leadership of Leder and Hall. Matur serves as a Staple Chief Technology Officer, leading the company's overall technology vision and digital innovation efforts. She oversees the development and implementation of IT systems, data infrastructure, and technological solutions that support Staples' shift toward e-commerce, automation, and service-based business operations. Meanwhile, Rachel Ackle, who previously served as CEO of Staples Canada, has recently advanced to become CEO of Staples US Retail as of August 2025, bringing with her leadership experience, a strong background in organizational transformation, and a proven ability to manage large-scale retail operations across national markets. Since Staples is split into three separately managed entities, the management structure is decentralized to better fit each region's specific market conditions and operational needs. Staples Canada has its own board of directors and executive leadership distinct from Staples US Retail, while Staples B2B and Commercial division also operates under a separate leadership team. This allows each unit to make decisions tailored to its customers, supply chain realities, and local competitive pressures rather than relying solely on US based ideals. Overall, this decentralized structure provides greater flexibility and responsiveness while still aligning with the overall strategic direction set by Sycamore Partners. Staples' decentralized management model enables each regional entity to operate with strategic independence while still remaining connected to their broader organizational goals. By empowering localized decision-making, Staples can respond more accurately to market shifts, customer expectations, and competitive challenges in different regions. This structure ultimately strengthens the company's operational agility and supports its ongoing transformation in a rapidly evolving retail and business service environment. Staples operates in a regulatory environment influenced by trade laws, import regulations, labor standards, and environmental rules. The company's global supply chain depends on regulatory compliance in multiple countries, while sustainability policies and green initiatives are increasingly supported by governmental incentives. For example, Staples' environmentally responsible practices and participation in programs like the US government's Ability One and eco-conscious procurement initiatives create political advantages that strengthen its status as an approved supplier for federal contracts. Additionally, minimum wage legislation and unionization pressures can impact Staples' labor costs, especially as political debate around wage increases continues across many US states. Staples is heavily influenced by macroeconomic trends such as consumer spending, business investment cycles, inflation, and interest rates. During economic downturns or recessions, companies often spend less on office supplies and capital equipment, which leads to reduced sales. Exchange rate fluctuations can also affect international operations, particularly in Europe and Australia, when Staples experience the translation losses and reduced profitability. Debt financing and cash reserves are critical as well, meaning high levels of long-term debt require stable financial performance to maintain investors' confidence and credit capacity. Overall, Staples must continually adapt to economic volatility, especially as shifting work models influence purchasing behaviors. Changes in workplace culture, business organization, and consumer behavior significantly shape Staples' market. The increased shift towards remote and hybrid work has reduced traditional office supply demand, Additionally, there is a growing social expectation for businesses to demonstrate sustainability, ethical sourcing, and community engagement. Staples, Staples Soul initiatives, including community involvement and workforce diversity, help align the company with modern corporate values and public expectations. Furthermore, brand perception, such as being easy, convenient, and competitively priced, continue to matter socially, particularly as consumers gravitate towards brands with strong service reputations and ethical credibility. Technology is one of the most disruptive external forces shaping Staples' future. Online retail platforms, mobile purchasing, and digital marketplaces like Amazon have changed how customers order supplies. Staples' efforts to invest in e-commerce, mobile apps, and ship-to-store services reflect a strategic response to the technological shift. Additionally, advancements in supply chain technology like automated sorting, smart size packaging, and data-driven inventory management are essential for maintaining efficiency and cost competitiveness. At the same time, emerging technologies such as Amazon's drone delivery and advanced logistics raise competitive pressures that required Staples to innovate to maintain relevance in rapidly digitizing market. While the office supply industry has relatively low barriers to entry in terms of licensing and initial investments, new entrants face difficulty gaining meaningful market share because of Staples' scale, brand recognition, and established distribution networks. Smaller competitors struggle to compete with Staples' pricing, inventory depth, and delivery capabilities. Although online only newcomers can bypass physical store overhead. The greatest vulnerability comes not from traditional new retailers, but from uh, Nike specialty suppliers or agile e-commerce startups offering targeted or customized solutions. Buyers, especially large corporate and institutional customers, carry significant uh, bargaining power because Staples sells largely commoditized goods such as paper, ink, and office supplies that can easily be purchased elsewhere. Large clients are able to negotiate discounted rates, bulk pricing, or service contracts, reducing margins. Meanwhile, small businesses and individual customers can quickly compare prices online, pushing Staples to match competitors or risk losing customers to Amazon, Walmart, or warehouse clubs. Staples utilizes numerous suppliers for paper, electronics, ink, cartridges, office furniture, and branded merchandise, which limits the power of any single supplier. However, major OEM brands such as HP or Epson may exert pricing influence due to proprietary products or limited distributional channels. Staples mitigates supplier power through private label brands, global sourcing, and negotiated agreements across its large purchasing volume, giving it reasonable leverage in supplier relationships. Staple faces substitute threats not just from other office supply chains, but from digital alternatives to physical products. For example, paperless work, cloud storage replacing physical filing systems, and online collaboration reducing the need for print materials. Additionally, customers can substitute staples with Amazon, Walmart, Costco, Target, or even local office suppliers. The shift toward remote work and digital documentation further reduced reliance on traditional office supplies, intensifying the substitution threat. Competition in the office supply sector is intense, with staples battling Office Depot, Office Max, WB, Mason, Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, and regional suppliers. The industry has consolidated due to price pressure, shrinking margins and declining in-store traffic, which has fueled aggressive pricing strategies, promotional building, and loyalty incentives. Online retailers, particularly Amazon, have significantly uh, escalated the rivalry by offering a broader selection, faster delivery, and often lower prices, forcing Staples to continually adjust strategy, expand service offerings, and shift toward B2B focused solutions.
Staples is structured as a collection of three separately managed entities: Staples US Retail, Staples Canada, and Staples B2B Delivery. This results in a decentralized management model that allows each regional unit to adapt to local market conditions, customer behaviors, and operational requirements. Staples Canada maintains its own board of directors and leadership team, separate from Staples US Retail, and the commercial delivery division also operates under its own leadership structure. This decentralization gives each branch control over its regional decision-making, enabling more responsive and context-specific management. However, while leadership and strategic decision-making are decentralized, the company's supply chain and operations remain highly centralized, with distribution networks, purchasing systems, and logistical infrastructure coordinated on a shared North American basis to achieve consistency and economies of scale. The structure is generally clear and understandable within the organization, as responsibilities are divided by both geographic and functional domains. This design aligns well with corporate objectives of supporting cost efficiency, operational standardization, and regional strategic flexibility to fulfill customer needs. Staples' model resembles other multinational retailers that decentralize front-end leadership but centralize back-end infrastructure, allowing it to compete locally while benefiting from centralized operational strength. Staples maintains a well-defined corporate culture centered on shared beliefs of convenience, customer care, productivity, ethical conduct, and social responsibility, which is embodied in its Staples Soul philosophy. These values emphasize ethical dealings, environmental sustainability, community engagement, and diversity, creating a culture in which employees are encouraged to demonstrate integrity and contribute positively to the workplace and community. This cultural framework supports Staples' strategic objectives as the company enhances its online services, improves operational efficiency, and strengthens customer relationships across multiple sales channels. Staples emphasizes on diversity and inclusion, reinforces this approach by fostering capability with employees from many different backgrounds, and recognizing that varied perspectives contribute to creativity and innovation across regions. Additionally, its global presence suggests openness to national and cultural context through localized workforce practices and community programs in the countries where it operates. Staples' corporate culture ultimately fosters a progressive stance that emphasizes ethical responsibility, continuous adaptation, and its commitment to productivity and performance in a changing marketplace. Marketing objectives and strategies have historically aligned with its core mission of making office supply purchasing easy and accessible, both through physical stores and increasingly through its e-commerce platforms. The easy button branding, the price match guarantee against competitors like Amazon, and the shift towards omnichannel retailing demonstrate an effort to keep marketing messaging consistent with the company's larger strategic positioning. Staples operates within a global and mature market and has historically held the top U.S. market share among brick-and-mortar office suppliers like retail merchandiser. However, a significant decrease of market share has occurred due to online competitors such as Amazon and large multi-purpose retailers like Walmart and Costco. Staples serves a diversified customer base ranging from individual home office users to enterprise-level clients, meaning it is not entirely dependent on small set of major institutional buyers, though large B2B contracts are certainly a valuable source of revenue within its commercial division. From a marketing mix perspective, Staples continues to use competitive pricing, expansive product variety, and multi-channel accessibility as core strategic levers. The company is gaining share in online ordering, mobile purchases, and business services solutions, such as printing, facility supplies, break room supplies, and workplace services, while losing ground in traditional office supplies like paper, ink, and physical storage, which are declining due to digital workplace transitions and remote work adoption. Many of Staples' traditional products are in the late maturity or early decline stage of their cycle, while newer offerings such as workplace solutions, business services, and facilities management supplies are in the earlier growth phases. The trend toward digital business operations will continue to reduce demand for traditional products. On the other hand, the trend toward online purchasing and B2B fulfillment may benefit Staples' service-driven model. While marketing provides Staples with tools like customer segmentation, small businesses, enterprise versus retail consumers, and product portfolio evolution, the company has not been as agile or aggressive as Amazon or Office Depot or Office Max in reshaping its marketing identity. Internationally, Staples' marketing approach has historically struggled to adapt to local cultural and market conditions, particularly in Europe, where inconsistent strategy and insufficient localization contributed to underperformance. Marketing historically played more of a supportive than a transformative role, and only in recent years did it begin pushing forward, repositioning Staples as a business solutions provider rather than a simple supply warehouse. Overall, Staples' marketing performance has improved strategically in the B2B sector, but continues to lag behind leading competitors in consumer digital marketing and brand revitalization. Financial objectives and strategies primarily focus on maintaining strong cash reserves, managing long-term debt responsibly, and improving profitability through operational efficiency. The company took clear strategic action by closing underperforming stores, restructuring its international operations, investing in centralized distribution, and shifting emphasis toward e-commerce and B2B business delivery rather than traditional retail. These financial strategies align with the corporation's mission to make purchasing easy, while also adapting to external pressures from competitors and changing consumer behaviors. Furthermore, sustainability and cost efficiency initiatives such as smart size box packaging and energy saving programs directly supported these financial objectives by reducing operating expenses and improving logistics. From a financial performance perspective, Staples maintains annual revenues of roughly $8 billion per year, but faces shrinking profit margins and weakening earnings due to increased competition and declining store productivity. The major goodwill impairment in 2012, stemming largely from struggling European operations, resulted in a net loss, signaling strategic misalignment between international expansion and real market conditions. Despite this, the company maintained strong operational cash flow and liquidity, which gave it enough financial flexibility to continue investing in restructuring efforts and digital transformation. Compared to competitors like Amazon and Walmart, Staples lagged in digital innovation and price competitiveness, but retained a scale advantage in B2B procurement and direct dealer relationships. The global market is moving quickly toward online purchasing, less reliance on physical store office supplies, and a bigger role on service-based revenue. These trends directly support Staples' decision to shift away from being mostly a retail store and instead invest more in its online platforms, business delivery services, and broader workplace solution offerings. CFO Jeffrey Hall and board member Stefan Kalunzi play major roles in this shift by helping decide where money should be invested, especially in technology upgrades, and by addressing the financial risk of closing stores and shrinking physical retail operations. In this way, finance isn't just bookkeeping, it is actively supporting and guiding Staples' ongoing transformation into a more future-focused and competitive business in a changing industry. Research and development focuses have mainly been on improving its online platforms, supply chain efficiency, and customer purchasing experience rather than inventing new physical products. The company invested in mobile apps, tablet-optimized websites, online inventory lookup, and systems like Ship to Store to help shift customers from traditional retail toward digital purchasing. These technical efforts support Staples' mission of making the buying process easier and align with its strategy of becoming more service-oriented and less dependent on brick-and-mortar sales. They also reflect the realities of external environment, especially pressure from online competitors like Amazon, and the internal need to streamline operations and reduce costs. Technology plays a major role in Staples' corporate performance by helping the company increase operational efficiency, especially in supply chain management and delivery logistics. A good example is the smart size packaging system that automatically creates custom-sized shipping boxes, which reduces waste and improves truck space usage. This not only saves money, but also reinforces Staples' sustainability goals. While Staples is not primarily focusing on R&D in the sense of scientific product development, its investments in logistical technology, e-commerce infrastructure, and database customer tools do create competitive advantages, especially for its B2B customers who rely on fast, reliable, and centralized supply ordering. Much of Staples' innovation comes from adopting and adapting existing technologies rather than inventing new ones. The R&D, or technology leadership at Staples, mainly functions as a strategic support role, helping guide decisions regarding platform improvements, automation, and IT expansion. Rather than serving as a standalone research function, Staples' technological development is closely tied to its strategic management process, supporting the goal of transforming the company into a more efficient, customer-focused, and digitally capable organization. Operations and logistics strategies focus heavily on efficiency, centralized distribution, and cost reduction, which directly supports the company's mission of making the purchasing process easy for customers. In North America, Staples uses a centralized distribution system with only four major distribution centers for retail stores, which lowers labor and transportation costs. For its commercial and B2B delivery business, Staples operates 36 fulfillment centers across the U.S., with additional facilities serving customers throughout Canada and ensuring fast delivery and supply reliability for corporate customers. These logistics decisions are aligned with the company's strategic shift toward online ordering and B2B accounts, while also responding to external pressures like competition from Amazon and internal goals of cutting operational waste and improving speed. In terms of capabilities, Staples conducts most of its operational activity domestically, especially in the US and Canada, which is where its strongest supply chain performance exists. Internationally, the company's operations in Europe struggled due to less standardized logistics, decentralized systems, and higher regional costs. This forced the company to either sell or close its overseas stores. Staples benefits from economies of scale, allowing bulk purchasing and cost savings. High-margin sectors tend to be services, tech support, and business contracts, while traditional retail categories such as paper, ink, and standard office supplies have the lowest margins due to heavy price competition and the declining need for these goods. Several operational trends emerge from examining cost and utilization. The smart size box innovation improved packaging efficiency and truck capacity, meaning more orders per shipment and reduced material waste, which lowered costs and supported its sustainability positioning. Labor is also minimized because many roles are standardized rather than being specialized. However, low wages and high turnover may affect productivity and morale. HRM strategies focus on maintaining a large workforce capable of supporting its retail and distribution operations, with most store associates paid at or near minimum wage. The company emphasizes ethical conduct, diversity, and community engagement through its Staples Souls initiative. These HR principles are aligned with Staples' mission of being a trusted and responsible business partner. Training programs include ethics sessions and guidance for customer interaction, which supports the company's service-oriented strategy. In terms of employee job fit, Staples has mixed performance. On one hand, standardized retail roles and warehouse tasks are structured to be easily trainable, meaning employees can be quickly slotted into operational roles. On the other hand, low wages and minimal career incentives have contributed to turnover and employee apathy, especially compared to companies like Costco that pay significantly more and have stronger employee retention records. Staples has resisted unionization, and only one store has successfully unionized in 2013 for a 2% wage increase, showing an HR strategy that prioritizes cost control over employee empowerment. Overall, HR plays a supporting role in the strategic management process by ensuring the workforce aligns with operational needs, maintaining ethical standards, and promoting a consistent corporate culture. However, HR at Staples tends to function more as an administration service and cost control mechanism rather than a proactive strategy driver of innovation or long-term human capital development. Apple's IT strategies focus on enhancing the online purchasing experience and integrating digital systems into its retail and delivery operations. As mentioned previously, the company implemented tools such as mobile purchasing apps, tablet-enabled browsing, online inventory lookup, and ship-to-store services to make ordering more convenient. These IT initiatives are consistent with Staples' mission of making office purchasing easier, and they support the strategic shift towards e-commerce and B2B digital ordering. Internally, IT also aligns with operations by helping streamline supply chain functions and reduce costs through automation and digital tracking systems. Staples' IT performance is strongest in its operational support functions, the smart size packaging technology being a great example yet again. IT systems also have support purchasing, delivery scheduling, and warehouse management to help automate routine decisions such as inventory restocking and shipment routing. While these provide valuable internal tools, Staples does not match the advanced predictive and analytics capabilities of companies like Amazon, which benefits from a much deeper investment in data science and AI-driven customer personalization. IT does provide Staples with some competitive advantage, especially in the B2B sector where businesses rely on stable online ordering. Staples has a strong online presence across North America, serving both US and Canadian markets through its digital platforms. CTO Pratigi Mathurs plays a strategic role by supporting major technology investment decisions, overseeing digital infrastructure upgrades, and making sure the company's online and logistical platforms support broader corporate goals.
Staples' current strategic position can be understood by examining its internal strengths and weaknesses. The company benefits from strong brand recognition in North America, a large business to business account base, and a highly centralized supply chain that enables efficient distribution through its centralized fulfillment network. Its purchasing power and cash flow create additional stability, and its growing range of service offerings helps diversify revenue beyond traditional office supplies. However, Staples also faces internal challenges, including declining profitability in its retail stores and slower technological advancement relative to competitors like Amazon. These issues are compounded by high employee turnover due to low wages and a public perception of Staples as primarily a paper and print retail store rather than a modern service provider. Externally, Staples has multiple opportunities to expand into high growth areas like rising demand for business to business service contracts and home office setups. Sustainability initiatives also support Staples' shift towards service-based offerings by reducing operational waste and costs, demonstrating environmental responsibility, and appealing to businesses that prefer vendors with strong eco-friendly practices. At the same time, there are considerable threats, such as an intense competition from Amazon, Walmart, and Office Depot, combined with a general industry-wide decline in demand for paper and traditional office materials. Price competition is severe, and customers can easily compare prices online, increasing pressure to maintain margins. In addition, broader economic trends, including inflation and potential commercial spending slowdowns, add further uncertainty. In response to this environment, Staples needs to leverage its internal strengths, particularly in advanced supply chain and business to business customer relationship, to capitalize on service based growth areas and expand its digital sales solutions. It can also address weaknesses by investing more heavily in technology by improving its online platforms through AI and automation, and potentially partnering with tech firms to accelerate innovation. Furthermore, its scale advantage and private label product capacity can be used strategically to counter competitor pricing pressure and reinforce customer loyalty. On the defensive side, Staples should continue to downsize or completely cut out unprofitable markets and restructure declining retail segments while allocating resources toward higher margin service sectors. Staples is a company in transition, meaning it must use its logistical and operational strengths to adapt in a changing marketplace while working to overcome weaknesses and competitive pressures. In terms of alternative strategies, Staples realistically has three broad paths: doubling down on growth through aggressive expansion of service offerings and digital procurement tools, maintaining a stability strategy by refining current operations without major transformation, or adopting a partial retrenchment strategy by closing more retail locations and reallocating capital into high-margin business services and automation. Growth offers the benefit of long-term market leadership and innovation but carries risk by requiring large capital investment. A stability strategy provides short-term predictability but may leave Staples vulnerable to faster-moving competitors. Retrenchment reduces financial risk and operational overhead but may shrink the brand's public presence and limit customer reach. The recommended strategy for Staples is a mix of selective retrenchment and strategic growth. At the corporate level, this means scaling back the underperforming retail footprint while reinvesting those resources into expanding business-to-business services, IT infrastructure, and digital procurement tools. At the SBU level, the commercial/delivery division should follow a differentiation strategy focused on specialized workplace solutions, account-based service, and reliability, while the retail division should adopt a cost efficiency and streamlined product strategy with targeted locations that serve as marketing and service hubs rather than traditional sales floors. At the functional level, actions should include improving technology systems, strengthening customer relationship management, retaining skilled employees in service-oriented roles, and shifting marketing messaging to reinforce Staples' identity as a business partner rather than just a commodity dealer. This recommendation directly addresses key challenges identified earlier: declining retail sales, rising online competition, and shrinking margins on traditional office supplies. By reinforcing the competitive strengths of Staples' supply chain infrastructure and its strong business-to-business relationships, this strategy builds on existing competencies rather than abandoning them. It also positions Staples to expand into more profitable service areas where Amazon and Walmart are weaker, such as dedicated business support, software installation, and specialized workplace services. This strategy will shift Staples' core competency from being primarily a low-cost retail distributor of office supplies to a high-value solutions provider for business clients. This evolution must be explicitly communicated to employees, suppliers, and customers so that the organization embraces the identity change rather than resisting it. Policy changes should include revised purchasing policies to emphasize service-based products, updated HR policies to support employee development for service roles instead of only retail tasks, and more clear alignment of IT investment policies with strategic goals. By implementing these policies, Staples can ensure efficient execution, internal clarity, and organizational alignment with its new business direction. To successfully implement the recommended strategy, several key programs and tactical initiatives must be developed to support Staples' evolution towards a service-oriented business-to-business focused model. First, Staples needs to expand its digital procurement and workplace solutions service infrastructure, update retail locations into service hub formats, and strengthen IT capacity for automation and customer support tools. The development of these initiatives should be led by the IT leadership team and CTO for technology upgrades, HR leadership for talent development and retraining, and operations management for supply chain realignment. This cross-functional ownership ensures that expertise is assigned appropriately. IT leads systems transformations, HR builds the service-oriented workforce, and operations ensures logistical consistency. The implementation should occur over a staged 1 to 2 year period, beginning first with U.S. commercial delivery and business-to-business services before expanding refinement into U.S. retail and Canadian operations. These programs will impact multiple SBUs as retail will receive functional redesign and labor reorientation. Commercial delivery will scale services, and corporate IT will provide backbone support. Functionally, this can be carried out through a structured phase-centric plan. For example, Phase 1 includes establishing Service Hub pilot retail locations and expanding business-to-business fulfillment capacity. Phase 2 integrates digital account automation tools and improves procurement systems. Phase 3 implements company-wide branding and employee training programs. Progress should be monitored by executive leadership with key performance indicators tracking in areas such as digital sales ratio, operational cost reductions, and business-to-business account retention rates. Financially, these programs are feasible and supported by Staples' strong liquid cash reserves. The recommended strategy also reallocates funds from closed or downsized retail stores toward high return investments in digital infrastructure and services rather than requiring entirely new large outside capital. Because Staples already maintains strong purchasing leverage and liquid cash reserves, these initiatives can be budgeted internally with reduced risk exposure. Budget allocation should prioritize IT development, employee retraining, and warehouse/delivery optimization, while minimizing further investment in traditional retail expansion. Clear budget oversight and staged funding milestones will ensure cost discipline while advancing strategic goals. This financial structure ensures that implementation not only aligns with Staples' strategic direction, but is also realistically achievable within current financial capacity. To properly evaluate the effectiveness of Staples' strategic transformation, the company must rely on a metric system that provides timely and department-specific performance feedback. Staples currently tracks performance through departmental KPIs, operational cost metrics, business-to-business contract growth, digital order volume, and retail-level sales tracking, which allows results to be aligned with functional areas, SBUs, and broader corporate objectives. This system can be expanded with a more refined measurement criteria. For example, tracking customer conversion rates from retail to business service accounts or measuring the percentage of transactions conducted digitally versus in-store. Information must be collected and reported regularly, ideally monthly or quarterly, to ensure that management decisions are based on current performance rather than lagging indicators. Benchmarking should also be used, comparing Staples' progress against industry leaders such as Amazon, Office Depot, and specialized business-to-business service providers to determine whether improvements are competitive and sufficient rather than solely incremental. Control measures must be in place to ensure strategic alignment and execution strategy. Leadership should establish clear milestones, progress targets, and accountability expectations for each SBU and function. Reward systems should be structured to recognize teams and individuals who contribute to strategic goals. For example, increasing business-to-business client retention, reducing per-unit logistical cost, or improving customer satisfaction scores in service-facing roles. Incentives may include performance-based bonuses, career advancement opportunities, or public recognition within the organization. This ensures employees are not just compliant, but motivated to support the company's transformation. The reassessment process must allow Staples to evaluate what is working, correct underperforming initiatives, and continuously refine the strategy to remain aligned with both internal progress and external market pressures. This concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening.